Hello everyone and welcome to Pilates by Physiotherapy's home videos. I hope you're all well. We're going to start off in standing, so start with your feet together. We're going to slowly turn your toes apart, turn your heels apart. Think about having your weight spread evenly between your big toes, little toes and heels. Knees straight but soft. Find the midpoint in your pelvis. We're going to slowly roll your tailbone forwards, take it back behind you and come to rest near the middle. Centers gently engage and then think about growing tall, opening up across your shoulders and relaxing your shoulders down away from your ears. First of all, we're just going to start by gently mobilizing the neck. So imagine that your chin's balancing on a shelf and we're just going to slowly turn your head to look over one shoulder, moving back to the center and round to the opposite side. Think about breathing out as you move away and in as you come back to the center. Lovely. And we'll just do one more of these to each side. And then come to rest back near the middle. We're slowly going to tilt the ear down to one side now to feel a gentle stretch across the top of your shoulder. Back to the center and down to the opposite side. Slowly alternating sides in your own time. And again, one more to each side, and then we'll come back to rest in the middle. Great. We're just going to add in some arm floats now. So think about keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. Shoulder blades gently pulled towards your opposite back pocket and try to keep your ribs back. Floating your arms up towards your ears as you breathe out and in as you come back down. Lovely. Breathing out, gently lengthening away, keeping those ribs engaged, and down. And in. We're going to do two more of these and then we'll add on. Okay, on the next one, we're going to continue to float your arms up, but as your arms come up, we're going to move your breastbone towards the ceiling, follow your fingertips with your eyes, and then circle your arms round and back to the start again. Slowly breathing out, and in, and out, and in. Lovely. Two more here. And one final time. Great. Now we're going to float your arms up to shoulder height. Try to keep your hips pointing forwards. We're going to open one arm to the side, again following with your upper body as you breathe out and breathing in as you come back to the center. Try to keep your shoulders gently relaxed and again down away from your ears. Breathing out and in. Think about keeping your hips pointing forwards and spine over the top of your pelvis. And again, one more to each side. And relax your arms down. We're now going to gently bend down to one side, roll around into the center, and then slowly work to restack your spine, bone by bone by bone, up through the middle to your starting point again. Slowly down to the opposite side, rolling around to the center, and then slowly restack bone by bone by bone, up into standing again. Try to keep your knees soft and make sure your hips don't slide backwards. Slowly rolling and gently restacking up, segment by segment through your spine. And one final time. And come back up. Great. We're now going to come to one end of your mat and we're going to do a fuller roll down towards the floor. So we'll do a few of these just to make sure that your spine's nicely mobilized. Again, keep your weight spread evenly through your feet, knees nice and soft, and try not to let your hips push backwards. Starting from the top of your neck, peeling down bone by bone by bone. Work through any stiff areas and then slowly restack back up. gradually aiming to come a little further down each time. Restacking from your pelvis upwards, centre strong, knees soft, and try and keep your hips over your heels. One final time, and then we'll work down onto the floor. So peeling down, bone by bone by bone, slowly, and then we'll work down onto the mat. Okay, so we're going to start in 4-point kneeling for our first exercises. So have your knees hip width apart, directly beneath your hips. Hands shoulder width apart, just slightly further forwards than your shoulders. Try to keep your ears and shoulders away, so shoulders away from your ears. Back of your neck long, so your eye line is looking down in front of your hands. We're just going to start by finding the midpoint in your pelvis. So thinking about rolling your tailbone towards the ceiling, tucking your tailbone underneath, and then coming to rest halfway. Imagine a tray of drinks balancing across your rib cage and try to keep them evenly spaced. Great. We're just going to start with some basic leg slides to begin with. So imagine a spirit level across your hip bones that you don't want to sway. And we're going to start by sliding one leg out along the floor, gently lengthening, alternating sides, and trying to avoid a weight shift as you swap legs. Remember to work at your own level. So stick at this level if that feels right for you. If you're ready to progress on, then we're going to start to think about floating your leg out behind you so it floats away from the floor. Again, think about floating rather than lifting to try to keep your trunk steady and avoid arching your lower back. Slowly floating up and back in again. Lovely. Again, feel free to stay at this level. If anyone feels ready to progress on, then we're going to add in an alternate arm. So again, shoulders staying back away from your ears. Weight spread evenly between arms and legs. Try to balance a tray of drinks across your shoulders and your hips now without allowing them to spill. We're going to slowly float opposite arm and leg away and then back to the centre. Breathing out as you move away and in as you come back to the centre. Hold for a couple of seconds and then slowly slide back in. Breathing out as you move away and again in as you come back to the centre, trying to avoid that shift in weight as you swap sides. And relax there. Great. Staying in 4-point kneeling, we're going to start to take one leg out behind you and we're going to stay on the same side and do toe taps for up to 8 on the same leg before sliding back in. Again, taking your opposite leg out and again tap for 8. And slowly back in. Again, imagining that tray of drinks balancing across your pelvis. Continue with this. After the next set, if you're ready to progress on, then we'll float your opposite arm out, hold your arm out, and continue with the toe taps for up to 8 on one side. And back in. Alternating sides, again, trying to keep the trunk as stable as you can. And back. One more set on each side here. And slowly in. And back to the centre. If you feel you need to give your upper limbs and hands a rest now, allow your hips to sink back towards your heels, gently taking the weight off your wrists. Once you feel ready, we're going to come back up into position. So we're going to have your, again, hips directly above your knees, hands slightly further forward than your shoulders, and shoulders just back away from your ears. Back of your neck nice and long. We're going to take one leg out behind you again, float it away from the mat, And we're going to imagine your big toe to be a pencil and do some hip circles. So we're going to do up to 8 circles in one direction. Again, trying to keep your trunk as steady as you can and imagining that tray of drinks across your pelvis. Swap directions after 8. And slowly come back in. Remember to work at your own level, and if you want to do a fewer number in each direction, please do so. And then remember that tray of drinks across your pelvis. 8 circles one way. And then 8 circles back the other. And drawing in. Okay, one final exercise in this position, if it feels comfortable for you and it's the level you usually work at. Remembering to keep your shoulders back away from your ears. We're going to stay on all fours. We're just going to tuck your toes gently underneath your feet. Centers engaged, and we're just going to slowly hover your knees off the mat. Drawing in, knees hovering away from the mat, and then slowly back down. Just hold for a few seconds, however long feels comfortable for you. Remembering to keep that nice position through your trunk. Centers engaged, breathing out as you lift up. Breathe in to hold, breathing out as you come back down again. Shoulders away from your ears, breathing out, and slowly coming back down. Try 2 more of these if you feel able to. And slowly down. Lovely. And then again, allow your hips to rest back against your heels, lengthening out your arms and giving your wrists a rest. Okay, so we're going to change position now and roll over onto our backs. Have a towel for a head support. And we're going to start with our knees bent. Feet, hips and knees in our tram lines. Knees bent at 90 degrees. Allow your shoulders to rest down towards the mat, down away from your ears, and try to feel your lower ribs gently resting down into the mat. We're going to slowly roll our pelvis, rolling your tailbone away from the mat, and then rolling it back down, allowing your lower back to arch to find the midpoint, and then gently set our centers. Great. We're going to start with some scissors first of all. So from this position, we're going to float one leg up to tabletop and lower it back down. We're going to stick on the same side for up to 8. So floating one leg up to tabletop and then slowly lowering down. So up to 8 on one side, and then we're going to swap onto the opposite leg. Again, as you move your leg down, try to keep your hips steady. Swapping sides. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Ribs resting down. Try to tap your toes the same point each time, as if you were dipping them into a pool of water that you don't want to splash. We'll try one more set on each side again. So for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and swapping legs. Remember to try to keep your opposite leg as still as you can, as if you are balancing a drink on it. And then we're going to swap onto alternate legs. So if you want to stay in single leg, we're going to move one leg up to tabletop and slowly lower down. Imagine a spirit level across your pelvis as you bring your opposite leg up to tabletop and lower down. Moving one leg at a time. And then if anyone's ready to come into double leg, and that's the level you usually work at, think about bringing your ribs down through towards your pelvis. Bring one leg up into tabletop, and as you think about lowering that down to the floor, swap sides and bring your opposite leg up. Remember to keep breathing, shoulders nice and relaxed, and ribs gently resting down onto the floor. Again, if you want to progress on, we can then come up into an abdo prep position. So if you're going to continue with your scissors action, think about bringing your breastbone away from the mat, imagining a soft peach underneath your chin, and making sure to ensure that you've still got a little hollow in your lower back. Gently float your arms up to hip height. And continue with your scissors action here at whichever level feels right for you. Again, if you would like a further progression, then as you move your leg towards the ceiling, you can gently lengthen it out and then continue to alternatively tap your foot down towards the floor. And relax there, lowering one leg to the floor at a time. We're just going to gently lengthen things out by drawing your knees in towards your chest, allowing your lower back to lengthen and gently roll side to side. And relax down. Okay, we're going to start again with both feet on the floor, hip width apart, feet, hips and knees in their tram line. Imagine again a spirit level gently resting across your hip bones. Keeping one knee still, we're going to open our opposite knee out to the side and then back to the center, moving into hip twist. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Think about breathing out again as your leg moves away and in as it comes back to the center. Imagine your favorite drink balancing on the knee that's not moving. Ensure you don't spill a drop. Good. Side to side in your own time. Lovely. And if you feel ready and would like to add arms in, we can float your arms up to 90 degrees, again, keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed. And we're going to open opposite arm and leg out to the side at the same time. Lovely. Gently moving away and then back to the center, floating opposite arm and leg away. Keeping your ribs gently resting down and that spirit level gently resting across your hip bones. And relax there. If that feels like the right level, then feel free to continue there. For those of you who want to progress on, we're going to bring one leg up into tabletop. So you have your knee directly above your hip and a 90-degree ankle at your knee. Imagine the spirit level gently resting against your pelvis again, and we're going to open up that knee to the side, imagining that your heel is hidden by your knee, so your whole leg gently rotates out to the side. We're going to do 8 on one side, again trying to keep your opposite knee as still as you can. Only going as far as you feel able to keep your pelvis centered. So up to 8 on one side, or as many as feels comfortable, shoulders and arms nice and relaxed, and then back to the center, lowering that leg to the floor and swapping legs. Again, opening to the side, keeping your heel hidden by your knee as your whole leg gently rotates out. Keep your opposite knee as stable as you can. Up to 8 on each side, swapping earlier if you need to. And again, lowering down. Feel free to stay at this level, or for those of you who want to work into double leg, we're going to bring one leg up to tabletop. Think about bringing your ribs down through to your pelvis, keeping that nice position through your lower back and floating your opposite leg up to tabletop. We're then going to open up alternate legs, one leg at a time, to the side. So keeping the opposite knee still, trying to keep the pelvis centered, upper body and arms nice and relaxed. And then again, feel free to stay at this level, or if you'd like to progress on, we're going to float arms up to 90 degrees and we're going to open opposite arm to the side. Okay, and relax down, slowly one leg at a time. Great, we're going to stay in this position now, but we're going to take the towel out from behind your head to work up into a shoulder bridge. So if you find it comfortable, you can fold the towel over and pop it in between your knees, or otherwise you can just leave it by your side. Walk your feet just a little bit closer towards your bottom, but make sure that they're still in front of your knees. Shoulders and upper body stays nice and relaxed. We're going to work up through a basic bridge first of all. So think about tipping your tailbone, scooping up through your pelvis, making sure your glutes are doing the work and peeling up bone by bone by bone, up towards your shoulder blades, making sure that your hips are higher than your ribs, and then slowly uncurling back down, bone by bone by bone, scooping up through your pelvis and gradually uncurling your tailbone. And again, tipping the tailbone, scooping up through your pelvis, really engaging through your glutes, peeling up through your lower back, through your mid back, towards your shoulder blades, trying to keep the hips level and knees still. And then again, slowly uncurling down, bone by bone by bone, scooping up through the lower back, uncurling the pelvis and gradually rolling the tailbone down to the floor. Remember to breathe. So again, we can add in some variations now, or you can stick with the basic bridge if that feels the right level for you. So we're going to first of all add in some scissors options. So we're going to come up into a bridge. The first option is to float your arms up to 90 degrees, hold in your bridge position, take one arm overhead, one arm down by your hip. For up to 8 arm actions, obviously come down earlier if you need to, ensuring that your ribs don't flare and that your hips stay nice and level. And then slowly uncurling back down. Again, slowly peeling up bone by bone by bone, coming up into your bridge, floating your arms up to 90 degrees, one arm overhead, one arm down by your hip, and then slowly swapping positions. Really working through your glutes to keep your body as stable as you can. And then again, slowly uncurling down. Stay with this level, or if you'd like to progress on to a legs option, we're going to come back up into your bridge. Ensuring that your glutes are working hard to keep your pelvis level, we're going to slowly float one leg up to tabletop and lower back down. Swapping sides, bring your second leg up to tabletop and lower down. Again for up to 8, making sure you lower down earlier if you need to. Trying to keep your hips in the same position and making sure they don't sink side to side as your leg comes up. And then slowly uncurling down, bone by bone by bone. Right, we'll try that once more, working whichever level feels right for you. So curling up into your bridge, keeping your hips level, slowly floating one leg to tabletop and then back down, swapping sides. Keeping your pelvis as steady as you can. And then again, slowly uncurling back down. Lovely. We're going to change our options now and come back up into a bridge. So we're going to peel up into your bridge position. Float your arms up to 90 degrees, opening one arm out to the side, bringing it back to the center, and then the opposite arm to the side. Again, for up to 8 arm actions, keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed, holding your bridge position and not allowing your hips to sink side to side. Once you feel ready, lower your arms down and uncurl down out of your bridge. In your own time, slowly peel back up again. Arms up to 90 degrees, opening one arm to the side and then the opposite arm to the side. Lowering your arms down and slowly uncurling out of your bridge as normal. We've got one final option to add on now, so we're going to return back up into your bridge position. Feel free to stick with your arm action if that feels the right level for you. Imagine that you've got a spirit level again across your hip bones, really working through your glutes to keep your pelvis level. We're going to keep one knee still and open your opposite knee out to the side into a hip twist. Slowly returning to the center and swapping sides. Alternating legs for up to 8. Return both legs to center and then slowly uncurl back down towards the mat. And we'll come up into one final bridge for whichever option feels right for you. Either legs, opening one knee out to the side at a time, or if you're more comfortable with your arms up at 90 degrees, floating alternate arms out to the side. Again, lowering down, segment by segment by segment through your spine. And then once you're down, draw your knees in towards you, lengthening out your lower back, and gently roll side to side. And then we're just going to pop the towel back in behind your head. Allow your feet and knees to stick together. Bring your arms out to the side into a crucifix position. We're going to slowly take both knees down to one side, allowing your head to turn the other way. Allow your lower back and lower ribs to move away from the mat, but keep your shoulder blades down. Hold as long as feels comfortable, and then slowly work back to the center. And in your own time, work your way down to the opposite side. Moving in and out as feels comfortable for you. And then come back towards a comfortable position in the middle and relax there. Well done everyone, we're just going to finish off with some stretches now. So from this position, I want you to take one foot, place it across your opposite knee. If that's far enough into the stretch for you, leave it there. Otherwise, draw your lower leg in towards you, trying to keep your knee in line with your hip. And hold a stretch so that you feel it in the gluteal muscles of your crossed leg. If you need to hold a towel or a TheraBand around your thigh to make it easier, do so. Just hold a comfortable stretch, keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed, and nice relaxed breathing. And then we're going to slowly lower down to the mat and swap your legs over. Again, start with a leg crossed across your knee. If that feels enough of a stretch, leave it there. Otherwise, draw that lower leg in towards you, trying to keep your knee in line with your hip. Nice relaxed breaths. Shoulders relaxed, ribs gently resting down on the mat. And then slowly lower down. We're going to take our time now and slowly come onto your side and then over onto your hands and knees. So we're going to have, again, knees hip width apart directly beneath your hips. Hands just slightly further forwards than your shoulders, shoulder width apart, and shoulders down away from your ears. We're just going to work up slowly through a cat stretch now. So thinking first of all about tucking your tailbone under, scooping up through your pelvis, arching up through your back, through your shoulder blades, and letting your head gently hang. Breathe in to hold, and then as you breathe out, think about moving your tailbone towards the ceiling, allowing your hips and lower ribs to sink, and slowly raise your head. Again, breathing in to hold, and as you breathe out, again, alternating position, working up gently into that cat position. Breathing in to hold, then allowing your tailbone to move towards the ceiling, hips sink, lower ribs sink, and raise your head. We'll do one more in each direction. Breathing out and curling up slowly, arching through your shoulder blades and gently letting your head sink. And breathing out, reverse that curve. We're going to come to rest near the middle now. So you want to find that midpoint through your pelvis and have a relatively flat upper back. Shoulders still back away from your ears. Now we're going to take one arm, thread it behind the other arm and follow it with your breastbone and hands. Your breastbone's allowing your upper back to gently rotate. And then coming back to the center. Swapping sides and going to the other direction. Gently breathing out as you move and breathing in as you come back. Breathing out, making sure your breastbone follows the movement so you feel a stretch in your upper back and not just in your shoulders. And come back. Alternating sides. For anyone who feels like they need a little bit more of a stretch, allow your supporting arm to bend slightly so you come further down towards the mat. And one last time. Lovely. From this position, we're now going to work slowly up into standing. So think about tucking your toes underneath, coming into a crouch position, gently lengthening your legs away and slowly peeling up bone by bone by bone into a standing position. Lovely. Come into a nice comfortable position with your weight spread evenly, knees soft. Think about relaxing your shoulders down away from your ears. And we're just going to shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Roll them back, allowing any tension to melt away as your shoulder blades melt down through your back. And again, shrugging up and slowly rolling back. Shrugging up and rolling back. And one final time, shrugging and slowly relaxing away. Gently allow one ear to tilt down towards your opposite shoulder. Work your way back to the center and slowly down to the opposite side. And we'll do that one more to each side. Lovely. Bring your hands into a prayer position in front of you. We're just going to finish taking a nice deep breath in. As you sigh out, reach up and around. And again, back into a prayer position. Deep breath in, sigh out, reach up and around. And one final time. Deep breath in, sigh out, reach up and around. And that completes our class. I hope you've enjoyed it and we hope you appreciate the new sound effects with the new microphone. Take care, we'll see you all soon. Bye bye.